Hi, my name is Ken Pinnock. I am the Director of People Development in the Human Resources and Inclusive Community Division at the University of Denver. And on behalf of all of our team in People Development, HRIC, and Shared Services, I want to extend a welcome and an appreciation to participate and share information in the initiative of Community Plus Values, particularly with the topic of resiliency and the growth mindset. You're going to be hearing more from experts, thought leaders around the university to these topics from their perspective, their lens. What I'd like to share, just a few points, is looking at this with my background from an organizational, management, and an employee lens. And I've been fortunate to work with these topics with many organizations in many different industries, as well as with organizations outside of the United States. So I've been able to identify some similarities and some differences with respect to the issues of change and uncertainty, and how resiliency and the growth mindset are really powerful tools to help us as we move forward during this time. So with resiliency, we hear a lot about it all the time. And, you know, 2 points I want to reference. One is, resiliency is the ability to bounce back, or I like to say bounce forward. Looking forward is often easier than looking back in terms of moving through uncertainty. But bouncing forward from setbacks, disappointment, loss. And what I want to reinforce is each of us are empowered to be resilient, to learn resiliency that best fits us. There is no one right way to, quote, be resilient, to, quote, bounce back or bounce forward. It's really up to you. And probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned is, most of all, trust yourself in periods of uncertainty. That will be your best guide. The importance of resiliency is, one, it enables us to keep working forward, moving forward, but not just moving forward like we're doing, but actually we can learn and we can thrive, and we can utilize what's happening as we grow. So there are some opportunities here, but I also want to note that this issue of resiliency is has a double edge to it. I've been learning and hearing more from community members within the university and outside that well, Ken, when I hear be resilient, they're like, I'm doing the best I can. And so since I don't necessarily pick myself up and solve it myself, I'm not doing well. And so just to share that, again, we all approach this differently in terms of how some of these messages may land. With that, there are ways that are consistent and that can reinforce our ability to be resilient. One is social engagement and connection. Whatever that looks like for you, reach out, connect, whether it's virtual, if it's in person. That connecting with others, that social piece is really important. How am I doing? Not how am I, Ken, doing, but, well, yes, how am I doing, but how are you doing? How are I doing? Self-care, awareness. We often put ourselves at the back of the line in terms of, well, this has to get done, work has to get done, home has to get done, school has to get done. Self-care and awareness, what that looks like around exercise, those kinds of practices really matter. And I know that you hear about this, we hear about this all the time, but explore that, look into it, and what that might look like for you. These are, quote, simple perhaps, but they are not easy. attention and focus, virtual environment, one thing at a time. Try and minimize multitasking as best as you can. A technique that I've learned and have recommended is 5 minutes. 5 minutes on one task, no email, no text, or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 35 minutes, what have you, maximum of maybe 50 minutes. Point being is focus on one thing at a time. Again, simple in sound, but not easy. How are you doing? Helping others, very powerful. When we focus on others, what's interesting is we tend to feel better. Also, we tend, when we're assisting others, have a sense and are able to exert perhaps a little bit more control over a situation where we may not have, quote, control over, but helping others, guiding others, supporting others is a very powerful practice to then get reinforcement for ourselves. So how am I doing and how are you doing? What's working? Resilient optimism. I prefer realistic optimism. You're looking at things as they are. But with that, one way to do that is flip the script. The idea that a setback or a failure is not the totality of you, especially during uncertainty. So there's two ways. One is, wow, I just can't do this task, this project. I can't learn to do this athletic endeavor. I can't respond as I should. I just can't do this. That's one message versus, I did actually pretty well for a bit. And then what I think I could do next time is I'll try this, I'll take this, I'll reach out for information prior. Very different messages. And the power there is self-talk is our reality. So how we speak to ourselves, we speak to others, and that creates our reality. Finally, risk failure, but safely. The idea, resilience and growth mindset is a muscle. So we treat it like a muscle and try. Are there simple things you could do that you know you're not good at? Speak up in a meeting. Try a new restaurant, a new store. Participate in a new committee, something where, not that you would fail, but it's uncomfortable. But putting yourself in those situations where if it doesn't go well, it's okay. And that ties directly to the growth mindset. Finally, growth mindset. You're hearing a lot about this, and for good reason. The idea of a growth mindset is that our ability, our skill, or knowledge is not fixed. Actually, we can adapt, we can change. Critical during uncertainty. And so you can try new practices and you can try new programs. May not be perfect, but give yourself that space. Alternatively, the fixed mindset is more, well, fixed. This is what I'm good at. I can do this. I don't really think I can do it. I never will. So truth be told, we all have elements of both. We all have elements of the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. But what's interesting to me and our team with respect to organizations and management is that the growth mindset in that context involves not just the employee or us, but our manager, our organization. So with the growth mindset, if I'm trying new things, I'm willing to ask for feedback. I will learn. It doesn't have to be perfect. Management and the organization has to also respond in kind. They have to be willing to give feedback. Management has to be willing to try and recognize things aren't perfect or that it might be a risk. So that's the little bit of a delineation between resilience and the growth mindset, and we need both. So self-talk counts most of all. Are you excited or are you nervous? You want to be excited. same, same. So I'm excited. I'm not failing, I'm learning. It didn't work this time, but I know what I'll try next time. Or I haven't perfected or mastered yet. Yet is the word. Our self-talk creates our reality. It also helps to reinforce and support the reality of those around us with respect to the growth mindset and going through uncertainty. So to bring it together, resilience is trying again, building the ability to build your reserves to do that. This actually fosters a growth mindset, which in turn helps provide the space and the resources and skills to be resilient. So thank you. And most of all, be well and take good care.